What's up, what's good? It's the Soundcloud Reviewer here, and today we're going to be doing another Soundcloud project review. Today's project is going to be the project Lil Bitch. I don't know. I was thinking for a second, like, am I going to get demonetized? But I'm not fucking monetizing these videos, so it doesn't really matter. Lil Bitch is the project by Young Flex, and today we're going to be reviewing this project track by track, going through positives, negatives, overall thoughts, and then giving a grade. So let's not delay it anymore, let's get straight into breaking down each track. Track 1 is Gifted Gray, and this is not his best track. So for one, he starts off this song with this weird laugh, and I don't know how he wanted to come across, but it just came across as really awkward and weird. And then when he starts, it sounds like it's recorded in a tunnel at the amount of reverb that's on it, and it makes it kind of unlistenable. Not to mention he's going off beat for a lot of this track. This track's straight up not good. Like, fjij comes in, he's also a little off beat because he sort of has that and it feels like he's rushing to get the words in. This is not a good track at all. Like, I don't understand why he's putting all these filters on his voice, but it doesn't work. He sounds unlistenable almost. The flows feel a bit janky, they just don't feel like they're on beat. His enunciation isn't really clear. Not a great track, not a great start. Next track, Oh No, it's not mixed quite right. Young Flex is a bit too quiet on it. But overall, I think this is a really good track. Like, it really fades into the background, and this is in the best way possible. You can really just vibe to it. His vocals are really low-key with the auto-tune. His flow is actually kind of smooth. Like, it's a tiny bit janky, but I think for the beat, it works. Great beat. The feature, however, I don't know what the fuck was happening there, because the feature was loud as shit, louder than the Young Flex. His voice wasn't really auto-tuned enough. Some of his bars were like non-existent. He was just like making sounds. The feature completely messed up the entire vibe of this song, in my opinion. So, Young Flex, good performance. The feature, Alfa BT, ugh. The next song, which is Lil Bitch, title track, I think it was okay, if I'm gonna be honest. Again, I think he could have been a little bit louder on it. I feel like he could have been a little bit more aggressive with the delivery. I think it's a bit too long. It goes into 3 minutes, 24 seconds. I feel like this could have been just like a 2-minute track. But the beat hits hard. His flow for a lot of the parts is decent. There's some parts where he goes a little bit off beat and it feels a bit janky. But for most of it, I really enjoyed his flow. I think that really the mixing is one of the only issues here. He could have cut it down a little bit. It sort of drags on in the last minute. But I think this is a really good track. Really good might be a little bit. It's a good track. I think it's one of the better ones off the album. He flows nice on it. And he's already showed a lot of vibes. He hasn't really done it with success yet, but I think in these 3 tracks, he gives us 3 kind of different vibes, and that shows that I think he has a lot of potential. Next track is Guap featuring YDN Kev. Kev definitely really saves the song. He gives a fire verse. Like, he goes crazy on this thing. He gives a real NLE Chopper type vibe to it, but like a more laid back, aggressive. His verse is great. Flex, again, not quite mixed properly, and I feel like at some points, his flows are just really simple and offbeat. He definitely, what you should take away from this review, work on your flows. Make sure your flows are on beat, switch them up occasionally, and make sure you're writing your lyrics to fit your flows, not the other way around. It shouldn't be you thinking of a flow, no, my bad. You should be making sure that you're not sort of just forcing lyrics into a flow. You gotta make sure your lyrics are matching the flow. So instead of, having this da-da-da, but then having like a bunch of lyrics having to go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, that messes up your flow. Make sure you're writing lyrics that fit your flow instead of just forcing lyrics onto the flow. But overall, Kev really saves this track. I don't know if he even saves it because he's not on for long enough, but this is a pretty good track. Because of Kev. Without Kev, this would have been abysmal, but I think it's pretty average as it stands. Next track is Mama and Dad. This one is interesting. I think he's going for more of like a storytelling type beat and storytelling type flow. Again, gotta make his vocals louder here. He's really smothered by the beat. Well, I think this track is average. I think he tells not the best story, but I think his flow is pretty decent on here. The beat has a little bit of an eerie feel to it and has some nice drums. I think this is an enjoyable track. I think I can come back to this track and, listen to it more than once. I think it definitely has some replay value. He's definitely trying new stuff here, and that's a real theme throughout this EP, which I can really appreciate, is that he's constantly, striving to try different styles here. I don't know if it necessarily works to perfection, but definitely something to be respected. Final track is Bentley. I think this track is pretty decent. The feature, Han Et or Han Et, I don't know how to pronounce it, gives a pretty nice hook here. It's pretty catchy. The beat is really happy and upbeat. Flex's verse is pretty average. He doesn't really hinder the song, I don't think, but he definitely doesn't give the best verse. Pretty average verse, pretty standard. The hook is really good on this thing. There's not much to say about this track. I think it is happy. It does its job well. Maybe not a highlight, but definitely one of the better tracks on this EP. So my overall thoughts on this project: Flex tries a lot of things, a lot of different beats, a lot of different flows, a lot of different effects. A lot of it doesn't go as he wants to, and I think not all of it works. Most of it doesn't work, if I'm being completely honest, but definitely he needs to keep stepping in this direction. He just needs to sort of work on making sure his vocals are loud enough, making sure the effects on his voice aren't ridiculous, making sure his flows are on beat. If he does this and he's able to do all these different styles, I think he can become a really good artist. But for now, it feels like he's just trying new things, and his amateur level in all these different styles really shows here. I think that overall this EP feels a bit more unfocused than diverse at times, and I think that whether that be down to bad mixing, bad flows, or both, I think in the end we come out with a product that just feels like it's all over the place, and even when it finds a place to stay, it doesn't really excel in that area. So I think overall a good rating for this thing is a C, C-, which isn't the best, obviously, but I think that just because there are some redeemable qualities and there are some good tracks, it stays out of D, F range. But I think definitely this isn't a good project. There's definitely a lot of room to grow, but it's not a good project. Alright, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, like this video, go check out the project that's in the description. Peace.